And you could close your eyes or rest your eyes somewhere in front of you. Arrive closer to your body and find yourself on the floor. Sensing where your body is contacting the floor in this moment. A deeper breath in through the nose and then exhale with a sigh, a sound. A couple more deep breaths like this. Inhale deeply through the nose, letting it out slowly through the mouth with a sigh or a sound. Letting the sound tell your body that you are here. You can then continue to inhale and exhale through your nose. But whenever you wish to, sigh it out through the mouth. And the area of your body that is in contact with the floor. What if you could give a little more of your body weight down and into this point of contact? Feel into the area behind you, behind your upper back and your shoulder blades. Almost sensing through your skin and the space behind you. And with your next exhale, see if you could give a little more of yourself into the space behind you. As if you're leaning into the back of a chair or into a hand, a supportive hand. Leaning back just slightly. Soften your face, let go of your jaw. Soften around your eyes. And feeling into the front of your body. And let the front of your body soften into the space in front of it. Softening with the exhale into the space around you. And notice the space all around your body. How it gently supports you as you soften outwards like ice to water and water to gas. And feel where in your body gravity is the heaviest at this point. And if you're sitting, you could let your body sink into that point where gravity is the heaviest. If you're laying down, you could simply imagine yourself sinking into that point of contact with the floor. And then eventually push the body gently into the ground to lengthen up through the spine and the crown of the head. Again, sinking, melting down, almost collapsing as you give up your weight towards the earth, and then push the body down to lengthen up and out through the crown of your head. Exhale to sink, moving now at your own pace in this pendulum, this pendulating movement. Lengthen and engage, soften and melt. A couple more pendulating movements. Engage and push, soften and collapse. After your next reaching through the crown of your head, you can soften into your seat or into your laying down posture and let the breath catch up with yourself, perhaps a deeper breath. Exhale through the mouth. Taking note of how it feels to be in your body right now. And before organizing that experience into something good or bad or right or wrong, see if we could linger in that space where we simply notice all the layers of sensations. Let the breath be in the foreground. And if you are sitting, you could go ahead and lay yourself down on the floor. If you're laying down, you could take a nice stretch through your arms and then relaxing back down again. And find yourself in a position where the knees are bent with the feet on the floor. And place your hands on the bottom part of your rib cage. And for the next few breaths, taking note of the contact point between your body and the floor. And in this process of unwinding, We yet again give a little more of our body weight to the earth. And now feeling the breath beneath your hands, the movement of the breath. And find a relaxed breath so you don't have to force it bigger or longer here. Just let the breath be as it is. And the hands are registering the movement and the sensations of the breath moving into the hands. And slide your awareness to the back of your chest. Keep feeling the breath, and as the breath pushes back into the floor with the inhale. So we have this 3D movement of the breath, moving upwards into the hands, also backwards into the floor, as well as outwards to the sides. So see if you could notice a sort of sliding of the shoulder blades outwards to the sides as you breathe. Bring your arms up towards the sky. And we will start to climb this imaginary rope. So we're reaching one hand up towards the sky and then pull it down. Reaching the other arm up and pulling it down. So now we let that rib cage, this 3D picture or map of the rib cage, roll side to side with this climbing. So we're massaging the upper body, the chest, the back of the chest into the floor. And we're also drawing that internal map of the chest with these movements, as well as making the imprint of our chest into the floor. Imagine that you're laying in sand. So, what kind of imprint would your chest make in the sand as you're climbing the rope one at a time? We'll do a couple more, right and left. And then release your arms down. Take a deep breath. Exhale with a sigh. And then place your right arm on the floor, but above your head. We will roll ourselves over to the right side. I'm going to keep my knees bent here, but you can straighten out the legs if you want to. Now the pillow could be nice to have for your head. I'm going to keep my knees bent because that locks in the upper body a little bit more to isolate the movement, but this is entirely up to you. My left hand on the floor in front of the chest. And just for a moment, let the side body, the right side of the body, to melt into the floor. Giving once more your body weight, just a couple of grams more into the floor. And then start to sway front and back, using that left hand on the floor to massage the side of your chest into the floor. Let the upper chest roll forward, closer to the ground, and then back. Keep this movement going. And the next time you push the floor away from you, continue to roll all the way onto your back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Take a deep breath in and out. Sensing any difference here side to side. Right and left, chest and rib cage. And then go ahead and roll over to do the other side. So left arm over your head, roll yourself onto your left side. Take the pillow underneath your head, and you can decide here if you want to keep the knees bent or keep them straight. Take that micro moment of simply noticing the contact between your left body and the floor. Giving your body weight into the floor and perhaps receiving something in return from the ground. So it's that conversation between one surface to the other, the exchange. And when you feel ready, you can start the swaying. So swaying into the right hand. The right hand is in front of the chest on the floor, rolling forwards and backwards to draw that imprint of your left rib cage in the sand. And continuously giving up the weight into the floor. We'll take one more sway like this, but this time we will roll ourselves all the way onto our belly. Push the pillow out of the way and rest your forehead on your palms. So you can stack your palms in front of your face and rest your forehead on top of your hands. Take a breath here and notice the parts of your body in contact with the floor in this moment. And feeling that breath in your body and the fluid quality to your breath. And you could imagine the fluid inside your body and that there's fluid outside of your body. And the fluid may come and go through the surface of your skin for that exchange, that conversation between you and the space around you. And go ahead and push your hands gently into the floor to begin to lift your chest a few centimeters. And then lower the chest back down. And keep that movement going, pushing the hands down to lift the chest up. And then lowering back down. Now you could try to lift the chest using just the strength of your upper back and not so much pushing with the hands. Or you could do a little bit of both, pushing a little bit with the hands, engaging a little bit with the upper back, taking a couple more of this waving half cobra thingy. And the next time you come up with the chest, turn your forearms out to be in line with your elbows. I'm gonna slide my elbows in a little bit to come up onto my forearms a bit more. Now, if this is pinching in your back at all, you could again turn the elbows out a little bit because that will bring you closer to the floor. Just find a level of extension, the backward bend with the back that is somewhat comfortable in this moment. Now from here, I want you to let the chest collapse down towards the ground. And then using the forearms and the hands to push down and puff the chest back up, like you're puffing the front of the chest up into the back of the chest, like a loaf of bread rising towards the sky. And then drop the chest again down. And keep that movement going, puffing the chest. And release the chest down. So we're doing a mini cat and cow here with the upper back. Where is your breath? And then settle the spine somewhere in between these two movements. Find your neck, turn your head side to side. And keep feeling through your hands if the hands could support this turning the head side to side. And we'll settle at the center. Now bend your left knee out to the side. And the angle of bending will be very much determined by your unique design. So find a bend that suits you. The higher up you bring the knee, the more of a bend you're going to have in your back, and that might be more or less comfortable for you. From here, I'm going to come up onto my fingers of my left hand. If this is already too much, you can come back down on your forearm or stay on the fingers of your left hand and start to roll your left shoulder. Rolling the left shoulder around, the spine will follow. And do one more roll here. And then slide the left hand underneath your right arm. And I will keep my palm facing up towards the sky as if I'm giving something to the right side of the room. And then I'm coming back. And again, sending it through and coming back. We'll do that 2 more times. Send it through, come back, last one, come back, release the arm, slide the leg back, lower the chest to the ground, and take a deep breath. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, give a little more of yourself to the ground. Having a moment of fluid exchange with your body and the floor. Noticing any difference side to side here, around your chest, your shoulders. And let's do the second side. Sliding yourself back up onto your forearms. Bend the right knee out to the side. And coming up onto your fingertips of the right hand. And start to roll the right shoulder around. Rolling the right shoulder around in its socket. And the spine might follow. One more roll. And then come back onto your forearm. Open the right palm to the sky. Slide the right arm underneath the left, giving something to the left side of the room. And coming back. Do that a few more times, giving it through. Now be wary here. You don't have to pull as hard as you can. See if you can stay within this fluid quality where we're not breaking or crossing any of the boundaries, but we can notice them. Here is a little more sticky. And then that's your cue to perhaps slow down and take a deeper breath and make the movement smaller. All right, you can finish the round that you're doing. Release your right arm next to your left. We're gonna keep the right knee out to the side now. I'm gonna bring the right knee a little closer to my body so that I can come up on both knees. So I'm in a child's pose now. Now, if you wanna have a blanket underneath your knees, that might be more comfortable. You could have a pillow also in front of you or just using the floor. So I'm going to keep my forearms on the pillow. I'm going to connect my forehead to the pillow or the ground. And from my feet, pushing the hips up a little bit to give a little body weight into the top of the head. But be gentle here with the pressure. We're not going to push so hard that we can. We're just giving a little of our body weight into the top of the head. And from the top of the head, we let the floor give a little information to travel all the way down through the spine towards the tail. And this is where the hips move back to the heels. And we'll start that again. So pushing the feet to lift the tail, roll through the spine, let the top of your head melt a little bit into the floor or the pillow. And that pressure also simultaneously sends you back where you came from. Keep that movement going a couple more times. See if you can notice the movement in between your vertebrae, like domino bricks, sending one movement into the next segment. And the next time the hips come back, we can take a breath here, push the pillow out to the side. Release one leg back behind you and the other, and then roll yourself back onto your back with the knees bent, feet on the floor, hands back to the lower part of your rib cage. Breathe. Notice how it feels to be in your body right now. Notice the movement of your breath in your rib cage. Mm. And notice the fluid-like exchange between your body and the space around it. And I will suggest a resting pose for the last few moments here. But if you want to choose another, go ahead and do so. See where your body is automatically drawn to. I'm gonna go ahead and straighten out my right leg. My left knee is gonna roll over. I'm gonna take my pillow underneath my head, and I'm gonna stay with my left knee bent and my right leg straight, and with my hand on the floor. But find a resting position that suits you. And with the awareness that you can always change. You can always change. We'll take one last conscious breath here together. Deep inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. Floating in space. Floating in peace. And if you'd like to rest a little longer, feel free to do so. But if you'd like to close this practice together, then you can wiggle some movement back into your body. And let a deeper breath find its way through your chest. And with your awareness still close to your heart, find your way back up to sitting. Mm. You could place one hand on your belly and one hand on the top of your chest, feeling into these areas and letting these areas be felt and heard by your hands. Notice how it feels to be in your body right now. Before organizing that experience into good or bad, right or wrong, see if you could linger in the spaces in between this moment and the next. And then bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Think of one or more things that you feel grateful for. It could be anything. The smallest or biggest or deepest or the most shallow thing you could think of. Anchor that feeling of gratefulness with your next breath. And we'll close the practice by bowing our head to our heart and our heart to the earth. Thank yourself for taking this time to unwind. And thank each other for sharing this space, this virtual space. And re engage with the world when you feel ready to. If you want to unmute yourself and share something from